So it's obviously now this is the first time where Bitcoin is actually and crypto are being talked about on a mass scale because we are in a presidential election cycle. Kamala Harris was asked to speak. She thought was going to speak just at the Bitcoin conference in Nashville, which is the biggest Bitcoin conference. It used to be in Miami. Now it's in Nashville. It was like one of the biggest Bitcoin conferences in the world. And Donald Trump spoke at it. And
I heard he wasn't great.
He wasn't great. No, I mean,
I heard he was just like, have fun with your Bitcoin. I heard it's a really cool amusement park. Like, I heard it was just obvious he had no idea what the hell.
Doesn't know what it is. I'm going to show you some excerpts from his speech real quick because I want people to see like how much he doesn't know what he's talking about. But some people are really deep into the Trump Bitcoin Kool-Aid and they think this is awesome.
Thank you very much. Hello. It's good to be with you. It's good to be with you. But I'm thrilled to be here in Nashville to become the first American president ever to address a Bitcoin event anywhere in the world. But as well as all of the Bitcoin luminaries and legends here, you have legends in this room. They really are. Congratulations. Would the legends please stand? Oh, everyone's standing anyway. That's nice because we have to talk about crypto. We have to talk about Bitcoin. We have to talk about all these great companies. But this is the kind of spirit that built America, and this is the spirit that's going to help us make America great again. That's what we're doing. I stand before you today filled with respect and admiration for what the Bitcoin community has achieved. It's incredible, actually. But I say this is the steel industry of 100 years ago. It really is. I think you're just in your infancy. I can see it happening. In just 15 years, Bitcoin has gone from merely an idea posted anonymously on an internet message board to being the 9th most valuable asset anywhere in the world. Can you believe that? Is that right? That's a big deal. Think of that. It's already bigger than ExxonMobil. Soon it will be surpassing the entire market cap of silver. Not bad. How about gold? How about gold? Let's go gold. And one day it probably will overtake gold, but based on the...
All right, we get.
I mean, someone gave him like a pro Bitcoin fact sheet, and he memorized it. Yeah, it's obvious he doesn't know, and he called them message boards, which that was pretty. I mean, come on, dude. I mean, I get it. He's of that age, but really, come on. Bitcoin's a little. I remember when Bitcoin was just an idea being thought of in an AOL chat room. Right. I remember Bitcoin came about when the person had their first Atari. Like, okay. Yeah. That's a funny.
Aside from all of the sort of Trumpy ramblings of Bitcoin is the best of silver, really, he's like reading the prompter for the first time. Like he almost said, "I don't think it's going to take over silver because I own a lot of it." Like he really wanted to say that. But one of the things he did say from a policy standpoint, he's going to make a strategic national Bitcoin stockpile, right? And that's what he said. Now. And he said he wants there to be more Bitcoin mining done in America. It's part of his Make America Great Again thing and there is a lot of Bitcoin mining done in America. I don't buy it because Trump is a guy that will just say whatever he's got to say to get elected. I personally think his campaign staff said RFK is probably taking away a lot of his votes. Because most RFK voters, and this is just kind of an estimate guess on my part, are center-right and libertarian. There's some lefties that are going to go vote for RFK, but I think a lot of center-right and libertarians, and even some right-leaning people are full-on right-wing people are going to vote for RFK.
And the one thing they have in common is they're all being fooled. But
they're all being fooled, yes, of course. But
any lefty who votes for RFK is the biggest sucker on the fucking.
Well, look, let's be clear here. I mean, Harris, Trump, and RFK are all pro-Israel, which means they're all going to support the genocide that is happening. Yeah. So they're all going to keep the war machine going. So like that's preposterous. But I think this is a strategy by Trump to just try to get some RFK voters. It's like when the Democrats talk about a Green New Deal and they have no intention of doing anything about it. It's like Joe Biden said, "Oh, we need to help the environment," and then he signed more drilling permits on federal lands than Trump did in his 4 years. That's just to get Green Party voters to vote for the Democrats. And so this is like whenever there's like a strong like center right independent or libertarian independent, that's a threat to the Republicans. So then I think he's just saying Bitcoin friendly stuff to get people to vote for him because.
Well, yeah, and he's at a Bitcoin conference, of course,
Yeah.
man. I mean, yeah, he's not going to do any of that. I mean, and he probably doesn't even understand what he promised, but
Yeah. He doesn't understand what he promised. And he's just like, and it's funny to me to see like, you know, the Bitcoin community just, yeah, Trumpy Bitcoin. I'm just like, guys, settle down. He's pro-war, which means if you're, I always try to break this down to the Bitcoiners. All right. So if you're a Bitcoiner, especially if you're a Bitcoin maxi, that means you're against the central banks. You're against the money printing of the fiat, right? You're against central governments, but then you're supporting someone that's pro-war. If you're supporting any sort of pro-war person, you are supporting the central banks fund the war machine. This, you know, the Petro-Dollar is a huge cog in the fiat machine. So I don't understand. This is such a blind spot for Bitcoin holders and Bitcoin, you know, maxis to then go, yeah, Trump's our guy. And they're like, well, Trump didn't start any new wars. Oh, wow. He just kept the 7 wars he inherited from Obama going.
Yeah, and let's be honest. I mean, the pandemic kind of put a wrench in his socket there. I mean, he wanted his war with Iran. He didn't get it because of the pandemic. It's like giving him credit for the emissions that were lowered towards the end of his term. Like, well, look, he brought down emissions. Yeah, the world was shut down. The world was shut down. That brought down emissions, not him.
Yeah,
the world was shut down. It's like, I didn't start any new wars. Yeah, the world was shut down. He had to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, this would effectively be Trump's second term if he wins, and he's already talked about, I want to wipe Iran off the map. He said that at the RNC. I mean, so
yeah, he said Joe Biden wasn't being hawkish enough when it comes to Israel. I mean, yeah, we don't even need to touch the whole like Trump is anti-war sentiment that some people repeat online. You're delusional. You're living in a dream world. You are living in a dream world.
They sound just as crazy as the like blue MAGA people that are like, Joe Biden's the best president we've ever had for the environment. Like, what?
Yeah, they're the exact same. It is just as delusional. It is absolutely just as delusional. It's political fan fiction, and I'm tired of it. I mean, you know, if you make it, it's really good for clicks. But I'm freaking tired of it. Like I just have no use for it. It's like after, you know, dwelling in these spaces for like 7 years or well longer than that in my life, but dwelling more firsthand, you know, the past 7 years, you know, eventually you're like, this is bullshit. What a bunch of 90% of this is just a bunch of bullshit.
We just keep saying the same nonsense over and over. So this is a retweet by Max Kaiser, he's been on the show. He's a friend of the show. I've been on Orange Pill, and Kaiser was kind of excited about Trump, but then he's even seen through it and like, nope. When Trump started bad mouthing El Salvador and Trump, you know, he's like, Trump said some good things at the speech at the Nashville thing, but I don't know that I buy it. And I give Max Kaiser a lot of credit. He's been very openly critical of what Israel is doing. And so this is what Kaiser retweeted. This is a speech Trump just gave to a pro-Israel group.
Including people in the House and including people in the Senate, you're not going to have Israel for very long. I'm telling you, you're not going to have it for very long. The other thing is this. You have many people that are Jewish people in this country that hate Israel. Somebody's got to teach these people that Israel is a good thing, not a bad thing. You have people at the New York Times run essentially by a Jewish family, and they hate Israel. They treat them so badly. I read articles, and now that I'm so into it, I read a lot, and I see things that you wouldn't have normally noticed.
Max Kaiser wrote, Trump's recommendation should be that Israel starts buying as much Bitcoin as possible. We are entering World War Bitcoin. This is like, I can't even, Trump, again, whoever, like any good politician, but Trump's very good at this. Whoever he's speaking to, he just says, yeah, what do you want to hear?
Yeah. What do you want to hear? It's so funny how neutral he is when you really just listen to his words, and how by the book politician he's always been, but he's really gotten more the past couple years. Israel's good, not bad. I mean, come on. I mean, that's out of The Simpsons. That's just cartoonish. And that's what he did. And that's how he won in 2016. He went to places like rural Pennsylvania, said he was going to reopen the still bills, which is freaking delusional. That's never going to happen. But he promised it. People bought it. He's tried to repeat that same thing again. And he backed off on that in 2020. He backed off on the whole, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. He backed off on it because I think he knew that people were starting to sniff out that he was, writing a check that he couldn't cash, which he's really good at doing in the literal sense too. But so instead he just did the whole Joe Biden's a radical socialist, and it didn't work. That just didn't work. So, but
when people say that Joe Biden's a radical socialist, I'm like, I always say, you and I say the same. I wish.
Yeah,
I
right.
wish
No shit, right? So yeah, now he's going back to his strategy that won. What's up, Chris Walker? Good to see you, man. It's been a while.
Favorite Knuckles for Justice. Thank you for joining us from Visalia, California. Good to have you here, my friend.